This is Chef Jaaion. I'm on a check-in with Hip Hop United. When are we cooking?
All right. We are here. We are doing our thing. Welcome to Hip Hop United, where we talk music, life, culture, and so much more. And I guess this one would probably fall a little bit more than the and more category.
Definitely and more.
We've got a world-class chef with here today who serves up tasty conversations as well as delicious food. Cooking is definitely an art. You know, the ability to fill someone's stomach as well as their souls is a special gift. And Chef Jaaion has been serving celebrities and doing fantastic culinary experiences for quite some time. So we're very happy to have you here, bro. Welcome to Hip Hop United.
Thank you very much, my man. I appreciate that. Thank you for having me.
Good, man. Let's start at the beginning in terms of that or whatever. I'm a person that cannot cook. I admire the art. I admire the talent for it. I just don't think I quite have the patience. But obviously you have a passion for it from what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
Where did that passion start? And, what kind of sparked your interest in being able to serve food and prepare it the way you do?
It came from growing up poor as hell.
Okay.
We didn't have a lot. Like most families, we didn't have a lot. And we were on food stamps. We were on WIC vouchers. And I got tired of eating boxed mashed potatoes, the block government cheese, and I would just take the stuff that we had, and I would just make different things from it. I used to get my ass whooped at first because, cooking mom's not home.
Right.
And then after a while, she called and said, I left some chicken out. I got you. And so that's kind of how I started. And I had my first restaurant job when I was 18 years old.
Oh, wow.
And then from there, I went to school for it, went to Grambling State University. What up, Graham fam?
Hey.
Moved here a little bit before Hurricane Katrina, because I'm from New Orleans, and went to Le Cordon Bleu here. And so from there, I just grew and grew. Yeah.
Great school.
Yeah.
Great school.
My first job here was at the old Cheesecake Factory, the 2-story one.
Is that what, Buckhead?
Yeah, old Buckhead.
I do remember that one.
Yeah.
There's some good food out of there too, man.
Yeah.
So I've probably eaten maybe some of your cooking already.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay. Now I saw some of your videos and everything on YouTube. You've interviewed some great people. You got Lily from SWV. I think most recently Portia, and of course many others out there. How did you decide to kind of mix, the food preparation and all that stuff with kind of having conversations with noteworthy people within the culture? How did that kind of come about?
A previous network that I'm not on had suggested that I do some sort of a cooking show. And I just took the idea and ran with it. And as we got to negotiating, and the great people, but they wanted to own what I was doing. And I'm big on ownership. I just think that if you're going to do something, you should have ownership or some ownership in it. Don't just give it away. And from there, it just grew and it grew and it grew. And I've helped a lot of celebrities and celebrities adjacent open up lounges, restaurants, private chef events, and all that. So I just use those relationships and say, hey, I'm doing a cooking show. You want to come cook? And believe it or not, a lot of people want to cook. Like they'll just, we'll do it. And that's kind of how I got started. And it picked up steam. I was on one show on Fox Soul called Chefs of Color. That was last season. And now this season, I've leveraged that into my own show called Culture and Culinary. So that's kind of how I got started.
Yeah, and you've already kicked some things off. I think I said earlier, you talked to Portia, but I'm sure there's been some others. Can you tell us some of the people that are coming up, or do we just have to kind of wait?
No. We interviewed Mimi from Loving Hip Hop. We talked about everything, cooking, her being a mom, the shower scene. Listen, you come on there, we got to keep it real.
Covering everything.
Yeah. I mean, whatever you feel comfortable talking about is what they want to talk about. But 9 times out of 10 is they bring it up. So we go there. I just interviewed the president of Grambling State University. We have some other big guests coming up. I don't want to spoil it. But after they come on, I'll come back and
give us what it is.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, and this has been a big area of debate here, and you being from New Orleans, and of course we're here in Atlanta, let's talk about this. Atlanta has gotten a lot of backlash in terms of its restaurant scene, in terms of the quality of food, customer service, you name it. In general, just not exactly the best reviews in some restaurants. Now, you being someone that's from New Orleans, but also kind of cooks here in terms of that, what are your thoughts on that in terms of what you've seen and some of the differences between New Orleans and Atlanta? Do you feel like, Atlanta's reputation, you feel like it's well earned in terms of that? Or, in your opinion, do you feel like, maybe you just need to go to certain restaurants and maybe get a different experience? What's your take on that, especially being from New Orleans?
Well, all right, a couple things. It's kind of not fair because New Orleans has its own cuisine. Like, New Orleans is almost like Italian food, Mexican, New Orleans cuisine. It's almost its own country.
Right.
So it's not fair. It's like someone being from Baltimore. They're an expert on seafood. Like, they'll kick your ass if you give them some imitation crab, you know? So being from New Orleans is kind of the same thing. Atlanta has good to great restaurants. The problem with Atlanta is we try to make everything into a lounge and a club. And I think we charge too much for drinks. Some of my favorite restaurants I go to, I just don't want to pay $25 for a cocktail, no matter how good the food is.
Right.
And I think that if you notice, there are a lot of restaurants that's closing around the city. And if you think about it, there was no place to park. The food is okay, and you're not going to break your neck to go there. But having said that, there's some dope and great chefs, entrepreneurs, and restaurateurs here in the city. But we can do a better job in Atlanta of raising the level of dining experience here, you know? If you think about it, right? If you go out on a date, you and your significant other, you're spending about $150
minimum,
and the food might be mid, the food might be good,
right?
And don't get to a lounge if you're getting hookah and all this other stuff. So it's just, no matter how much money you have, it's just not worth it. And if you think about it, think about how Atlanta was 25 years ago to now. Right? Like when I told you I first worked here at the old 2-story Cheesecake Factory. I remember getting on work in my Monte Carlo with no AC, just pissed off because I got to go back to work in the morning, and they over there at all these clubs, Joe's Crab Shack and all that stuff over there having the time of their lives. That's kind of going away. I get it. You know, there's some incidents that happen in Old Buckhead.
Right.
But like even the places like Twist and Strip at Atlantic Station and 255 and Pearl on Peter Street, all these places where you can chill have kind of gone away. If I have to go to a club, I have to get a section. Don't be standing up looking crazy. You going with a female, they're not about to stand because that's not happening. Right. So it doesn't make sense to go there. There's not a place that comes to mind right now where you can just be like, you know what, I can go here and chill. That's in the city. And I think that's the problem. We need to get back. We need to kind of get out of the section business. I get it's profitable, but you're asking regular people to make irregular decisions week in and week out for you to make a profit. Sorry for the long answer, but
no, that's appropriate because, you know, again, I wanted your opinion because you are from New Orleans and Atlanta's definitely had a lot of chatter in terms of their restaurant scene. So I wanted a chef, especially someone established as yourself, to give an opinion on that. So that's fine. Cool. But I try to give our businesses a shot. But if it's not good, it's not good. That's just what it is.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like Toast on Linux, I know Chef Harper is the owner. I've been knowing Chef Harper since he was doing BQE on Edgewood. Mm-hmm. His food is always great. Not good, great. Mm-hmm. But I be goddamn, listen. I'll still drinking tequila. Casamigo, Reposado, and lime juice, $22. Now I'm not knowing this. I get two of them. I get an entree. I get appetizer, then I got an entree or whatever. My tab was like $115. I'm by myself. I'm like, God.
Good gracious, that is.
It's like a Wednesday morning, you know.
Hell of a tab for just a solo.
I don't care if I'm a millionaire. Like,
that's a lot of money.
Yeah, it just has to make sense, and I think that we overpricing the alcohol, and I get it, but you asking like if you, because I still deal with the clubs a little bit. If you look at who in the club now, these little young cats, you know, like they don't look normal. None of these people look like they got to go to work in the morning. True. None of them. Like, you look at this crowd, who you got to go? None of these people got to go to work. And here you in there with your hard-earned money. Yeah, it's just not worth it.
Nah, I feel you. I feel where you're coming from. As a chef, what's some of your favorite foods to prepare?
Selfishly, I still like gumbo for obvious reasons. I like making like high-end culinary food. So I went, Le Cordon Bleu is a French school, so I love French cuisine. So that's why I like to make for myself. For other people, I just enjoy whatever. What's your favorite food?
Chicken wings, things like that, or whatever.
I enjoy making food that people eat and seeing their reaction. Nice. Like that does something to me. The best sound I love is to not hear nothing after I made the food when you're eating it.
I like that.
Because if you wait, you hear that? That's a sound of satisfaction. Because you're not complaining because you're eating. That's what I like.
Fair enough. All right, last question for you, my brother. For somebody like myself, I mentioned earlier, you know, I'm not someone that cooks. I do love to eat, but it is something, you know, that I think I will get into later in terms of not going chef level, but to be able to, you know, prepare some meals for myself or for the significant other, as you said. What would be some meals for someone who does not cook very much that you would start with? Some things you say, okay, we'll start with this. What would be your advice as a chef?
Chicken.
I'm right on the right track there.
Yeah, you're on the right track. Yeah, no, you start with chicken and rice. That'll be your, you know what I'm saying? And then you could get the frozen rice in the grocery store, so you ain't got to mess the rice up. Cool little chicken recipe, like chicken and gravy or something like that. Even stewed chicken would be a good place to start.
Okay. All right. I appreciate the advice. Well, my brother, make sure you tell everybody in terms about your shows and any new projects you got coming up, and of course, where they can find you.
You can find me on Christian Mingle. No, it's the wrong place. You can find me on Fox Soul every Wednesday at 6:30 Eastern. My Instagram is Chef Jaaion, Chef Jaaion, and start from there. And like I said, this is the beginning of something really good with a lot of great guests. I don't want to spoil it, but I'm excited. I'm like a kid on Christmas with gray in my beard, so I'm not a kid. But you get the gist of it. So just tune into Fox Soul. I'll see y'all later. All right.
All right. I'm excited for you as well, my brother. We appreciate you coming to hang out with us to talk about all the wonderful things that you're doing. Make sure you check that brother on Fox Soul and everything else he's got going on. Nothing but delicious things coming out of this man's kitchen. Lock in. Hip Hop United. Let's go.